Shocking soulmate update. Your person finally understood your value, and they're coming closer. My beloved child, if you are hearing this message right now, take a deep breath and allow your heart to become still, because something may be changing in the emotional world surrounding your person. There are moments when someone suddenly sees what they once overlooked. There are moments when distance creates clarity, silence creates reflection, and absence reveals the importance of a person who was once taken for granted. My beloved child, your person may finally be understanding your value in a way they did not understand before. They may be looking back at your connection with new eyes. They may be remembering the moments you shared, the support you gave, the patience you showed, and the genuine care you offered. What once seemed ordinary may now feel rare. What they once assumed would always be available may now feel precious. And this realization may be bringing them closer to a decision they never expected to make. My beloved child, perhaps your person once believed that they could move forward without you and that time would make everything easier. They may have convinced themselves that the connection was finished or that they could simply replace the emotional bond they shared with you. But life sometimes teaches people through experience. They may have met other people, entered different situations, or experienced new circumstances, only to realize that something was missing. They may have discovered that not every connection creates the same feeling of being understood. Not everyone listens in the same way. Not everyone cares in the same way. Not everyone notices the little things. Not everyone brings the same emotional comfort. My beloved child, your person may now be recognizing that what you gave them was more valuable than they understood at the time. Perhaps you were there during moments when they were struggling. Perhaps you encouraged them when they doubted themselves. Perhaps you listened when they needed someone. Perhaps you accepted parts of them they were afraid others would reject. These things can become deeply meaningful when a person looks back after experiencing life without them. My beloved child, sometimes people do not understand the warmth of a light until they spend time without it. Your person may now be noticing the difference. They may be remembering your presence during quiet moments. They may be thinking about conversations that once seemed simple. They may be wondering whether you still remember them. They may be wondering whether you still care. They may even be afraid that they waited too long. My beloved child, this fear can create a strong desire to move closer. Your person may begin considering how to approach you. They may wonder whether to send a message, make a call, ask about you, or create an opportunity to reconnect. They may be nervous because they do not know how you will respond. They may realize that you have grown. They may sense that you are no longer the same person who once waited for them. And that realization can make them both hopeful and afraid. My beloved child, if your person is coming closer, remember that you do not need to run toward them. Let them take steps too. Let them show effort. Let them demonstrate sincerity. You have already carried enough emotional weight. A healthy connection requires two people moving toward each other. My beloved child, perhaps your person's biggest realization is that your value was never only about attraction or chemistry. Your value was about your character. It was about the way you treated them. It was about your ability to understand. It was about the emotional safety you created. It was about the little things you did without expecting recognition. These qualities can be difficult to replace because they come from who you are, not from something you can simply copy. My beloved child, perhaps they are now looking at you differently because they have grown themselves. Sometimes people cannot recognize certain qualities until they develop the maturity to appreciate them. Your person may now understand what patience means. They may now understand what loyalty means. They may now understand the difference between attention and genuine care. They may now understand that love is not only excitement. It is also presence, communication, respect, and consistency. My beloved child, if they are truly learning these lessons, their approach may feel different this time. They may be more careful with their words. They may be more willing to listen. They may not want to repeat the same mistakes. They may be thinking about how to rebuild trust. But remember, growth must be demonstrated. Do not assume change simply because you want it to be true. Allow their behavior to tell you. My beloved child, perhaps they have been quietly watching from a distance, wondering how you are doing. They may notice that you are becoming stronger. They may see that you are focusing on your life. They may sense that your attention is no longer centered entirely on them. This can create a powerful realization. They may understand that you are not waiting forever. They may understand that your life continues. And they may finally feel the urgency to act. My beloved child, if they do approach, do not let urgency force you into a decision. You can move at your own pace. You can listen without promising anything. You can have a conversation without agreeing to restart the relationship. You can allow someone back into your life gradually. Your heart deserves time. My beloved child, perhaps your person is carrying regret. They may regret things they said. They may regret things they did not say. They may regret allowing distance to grow. They may regret assuming that you would always be there. They may regret not recognizing your value sooner. Regret can be painful, but it can also become a teacher if someone chooses to learn from it. My beloved child, if they come closer with regret, look for responsibility. Are they able to say what they did wrong without blaming circumstances? Are they able to understand how their behavior affected you? Are they willing to make changes? Are they prepared to rebuild trust? These are important signs of maturity. My beloved child, you do not need someone who simply says, "I miss you." You need someone who can say, "I understand what happened, I understand how it affected you, and I am willing to do things differently." That is a deeper form of love. My beloved child, perhaps your person has finally reached a point where pride is no longer more important than connection. They may have realized that refusing to reach out does not make them stronger. They may have realized that silence does not solve emotional problems. They may have realized that sometimes you have to risk vulnerability to gain something meaningful. This realization can be powerful. My beloved child, if they are coming closer, let them come with honesty. Do not accept half-truths simply because you have missed them. Do not ignore problems because you are excited to hear from them. Your heart can be hopeful and wise at the same time. My beloved child, perhaps you have spent months wondering whether they ever recognized what you gave. Maybe you questioned whether your love mattered. Maybe you wondered if they moved on without looking back. But even if they did not recognize it immediately, that does not mean your love was meaningless. Your kindness still mattered. Your patience still mattered. Your growth still matters. And now you are learning that your worth was never dependent on their recognition. My beloved child, their realization may feel validating, but it should not become the foundation of your self-esteem. You were worthy before they noticed. You were worthy while they were distant. You are worthy whether they return or not. Let their recognition be information, not identity. My beloved child, perhaps your person is preparing to communicate something they have been holding inside. They may want to explain why they pulled away. They may want to tell you what they were afraid of. They may want to admit that they were confused. They may want to tell you that they never fully stopped caring. If that conversation comes, listen carefully. You deserve the truth, but you also deserve to speak your truth. My beloved child, you do not need to suppress your feelings to make the conversation easier. If you were hurt, you can say so. If you need reassurance, you can ask for it. If you need time, you can take it. If you need boundaries, you can state them. A healthy connection has space for both people's truth. My beloved child, perhaps your person is nervous because they know you may not trust them immediately. That is understandable. Trust can be damaged quickly but rebuilt slowly. If they truly value you, they will understand that. They will not demand instant forgiveness. They will not pressure you. They will allow their actions to rebuild what their previous actions damaged. My beloved child, perhaps this is what it means that they are coming closer. They may not only be coming physically or through communication. They may be coming emotionally. They may be becoming more honest with themselves. They may be allowing themselves to acknowledge feelings they previously denied. That inner movement can eventually lead to outward action. My beloved child, you cannot control when that happens. You can only control how you prepare yourself. Prepare by becoming clear about what you want. Prepare by remembering your boundaries. Prepare by understanding what you will and will not accept. Prepare by remembering the lessons of the past. My beloved child, do not prepare by obsessing over what they might do. Prepare by knowing what you will do. That is where your power is. If they reach out, you can decide whether to respond. If they apologize, you can decide whether to forgive. If they ask for another chance, you can decide whether to consider it. If they remain distant, you can continue your journey. You have choices. My beloved child, perhaps your person is realizing that the connection they had with you was not something they could simply recreate. They may have thought that new people would automatically bring the same emotional experience. But relationships are unique because people are unique. Your particular combination of personality, history, energy, humor, compassion, and understanding created something that cannot be duplicated exactly. They may now be recognizing that. My beloved child, this realization can be humbling. It can make a person question their previous decisions. It can make them wonder whether they acted too quickly. It can make them wonder whether they misunderstood the connection. It can make them wonder whether the door is still open. My beloved child, if they are wondering these things, let them wonder. You do not need to give them an answer before they ask. Let them take responsibility for their uncertainty. If they want clarity, they can seek it respectfully. My beloved child, perhaps your person has also been thinking about the future. They may not only be remembering the past. They may be imagining what could happen if they approached you again. They may be imagining a healthier relationship. They may be wondering whether you could start over. They may be thinking about what would need to change. This kind of future-oriented thinking can be a sign that they are moving beyond simple nostalgia. But again, imagination is not action. Let them turn ideas into behavior if they are serious. My beloved child, if they come closer, look for intention. Are they consistent? Are they clear? Are they respectful? Do they follow through? Do they communicate when things become difficult? These things matter more than dramatic declarations. My beloved child, perhaps their biggest surprise for you will be how different their behavior feels. Maybe they will be more patient. Maybe they will ask about your feelings instead of only talking about their own. Maybe they will admit what they were afraid of. Maybe they will make an effort to repair things. If that happens, allow yourself to notice the difference without immediately forgetting the past. Growth can be acknowledged while caution remains. My beloved child, you are not required to choose between forgiveness and boundaries. You can have both. You can forgive someone while still requiring them to earn trust. You can care about someone while still protecting yourself. You can hope for the best while remaining aware of reality. My beloved child, perhaps your person is beginning to understand that losing you was not simply losing a relationship. It was losing access to someone who genuinely cared. They may now understand how rare that is. They may recognize that your presence brought stability, warmth, encouragement, and understanding. They may recognize that they did not appreciate these things enough. My beloved child, if this realization is sincere, it may motivate them to make a different choice now. But the choice must come from them. You do not need to convince them. You do not need to persuade them. You do not need to make yourself more attractive, more available, or more accommodating. Be yourself. The right person will appreciate you as you are. My beloved child, perhaps your person's heart is becoming softer toward you. Anger may be fading. Pride may be fading. Confusion may be fading. What remains may be a simple truth: they still care. If they acknowledge that truth, they may finally be ready to approach. My beloved child, if they do, remember that emotional softness does not mean surrendering your standards. You can welcome honesty without accepting disrespect. You can hear an apology without immediately restoring trust. You can allow conversation without promising reconciliation. This balance will protect you. My beloved child, perhaps your person is also afraid that you have found someone else. They may wonder whether there is still a place for them. This fear may encourage them to come closer. But again, their fear does not become your responsibility. You do not have to reassure them before they make an effort. If they want to know where they stand, they can communicate. My beloved child, sometimes people wait until they feel certain before taking action, but relationships rarely offer perfect certainty. At some point, a person must choose courage. Your person may be approaching that point now. They may realize that they cannot know your answer without asking. They may realize that silence guarantees nothing. They may realize that if they want another opportunity, they have to risk hearing no. That is what genuine vulnerability looks like. My beloved child, if they take that risk, respect the courage without forgetting your own needs. You can appreciate their honesty and still make a careful decision. My beloved child, perhaps your person has been preparing for a conversation that includes an apology. Maybe they have rehearsed it. Maybe they have thought about what they should say. Maybe they are afraid that the apology will not be enough. Let them speak. You do not need to make the apology easier or harder. Simply listen and decide what it means to you. My beloved child, remember that forgiveness is not the same as reconciliation. You can forgive and still choose not to return. You can reconcile and still require boundaries. You can accept an apology and still need time. You are allowed to choose what protects your peace. My beloved child, perhaps this is the real transformation happening now. You are no longer desperate for someone to choose you. You are becoming someone who evaluates whether a connection deserves a place in your life. That shift changes everything. My beloved child, if your person comes closer, they will encounter a version of you that understands your own worth. You will not need to prove that you are lovable. You will not need to compete. You will not need to chase. You can simply be present and allow them to show what they want. My beloved child, perhaps they are coming closer because they finally realize that you were not asking for too much. You were asking for basic emotional needs, honesty, consistency, respect, communication, and care. They may now recognize that these were not unreasonable demands. They were the foundation of a healthy relationship. My beloved child, perhaps their previous behavior came from immaturity, fear, or confusion. Understanding the reason can help, but it does not erase the impact. Both truths can exist. They may have been struggling, and you may still have been hurt. They may have cared, and they may still have behaved poorly. Growth means acknowledging both. My beloved child, if your person truly values you now, they will be willing to hold those complexities. They will not demand that you see the past only from their perspective. They will listen to yours. My beloved child, perhaps you are wondering whether you should prepare for their return. The best preparation is not waiting. It is strengthening yourself. Continue living. Continue healing. Continue growing. Continue building your future. If they come closer, you will be ready because you are grounded. If they do not, you will still be moving forward. My beloved child, this is the kind of strength that makes love healthier. You do not need another person to complete you. You need a person who can walk beside you while you remain complete within yourself. My beloved child, your person may be coming closer, but make sure they are moving toward the real you, not an imagined version of you. Be honest about who you are. Be honest about what you need. Be honest about what hurt you. If they cannot accept your truth, they are not ready for the connection. My beloved child, perhaps their realization will lead to a surprising conversation where they finally say what they could not say before. Maybe they will tell you that they missed you. Maybe they will tell you that they regretted walking away. Maybe they will tell you that they realized your value after experiencing life without you. If those words come, let them be heard. Then look at what follows. My beloved child, the strongest evidence of love is not always a dramatic confession. Sometimes it is simple consistency. Someone who checks in. Someone who keeps promises. Someone who listens. Someone who makes time. Someone who respects boundaries. Someone who communicates when there is a problem. Someone who does not disappear when things become uncomfortable. Look for these things. My beloved child, perhaps your person is learning to become that kind of person. If so, allow them to demonstrate it over time. My beloved child, there is no need to rush the future. Let one conversation be one conversation. Let one message be one message. Let one meeting be one meeting. Do not build an entire future in your imagination based on one moment. Let the relationship grow naturally if it is meant to grow. My beloved child, your heart deserves a future based on reality rather than fantasy. Your imagination may remember the best moments, but a healthy relationship must also handle the difficult ones. Make sure both people are ready for that. My beloved child, perhaps your person's realization is not simply that they miss you, but that they understand why they miss you. That is a deeper realization. They may understand that they miss your character, your presence, your emotional safety, your way of communicating, and the way you made them feel seen. That understanding can lead to a more mature desire to reconnect. My beloved child, if that happens, let the new connection begin with honesty. Do not pretend nothing happened. Do not hide the lessons. Do not rush past the difficult conversations. A strong future needs a truthful foundation. My beloved child, perhaps